Hello, welcome to the EA Forex Programmer channel. Today I want to teach you how to set up the candle feeling indicator. Please support me by liking and sharing the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Stay with me. Well, to start, put the indicator on the chart. You should see a message similar to this saying that the activation code has not been entered. To get the activation code, you need to send your key to one of our admins. To get your key, I'll enter Toolbox and Experts tab from the View menu. If the indicator is not active, it will print your key in this section. To see the message better, I delete the messages in this section and remove the indicator once and put it on the chat again. This message you see is your key. Copy it and send it to us. If you have already received the free activation code and its period has expired, you should go to the File folder in MetaTrader. And delete the candle feeling license.key file and repeat the previous steps again. After receiving the activation code, you must copy it and enter the indicator input window. Then enter it in the activation code input and click OK. As you can see, the indicator will be activated. After the indicator is activated, there is no need to repeat the previous steps and enter the activation code, and the indicator will run automatically. Well, now that the activation training is over, let's check the rest of the inputs and capabilities of the indicator. In the indicator settings, you can specify where the indicator should be placed on the screen. I select the top right, and as you can see, the position of the indicator changes. In the next two entries, you can change the size of the panel. Of course, the larger the size of the panel, the more accurately the results will be displayed. In the next two entries, you can determine the distance of the panel from the sides of the chart. Its default value in the program is 10. The round corners entry is used to round the corners of the panel. The only point in this section is that its value can be at most half of the smallest side of our rectangle, which will be semicircular. This is the result for the corner with a value of 10. And this is for the largest amount of it. The next two entries are for the background color of the panel, which by default are black and Dodger blue. You can change them according to your taste. The next entry is related to the transparency of the panel, which can be a number between 0 and 255. And the lower the value, the greater the transparency. Its default value is 180. If I want to show it to you, the candles will be seen like this from behind it. Well, I want to increase its transparency value, and I set it to 100. As you can see, the candles can be seen more clearly from the back of the panel. The next entry is related to the panel shadow color. You can customize it according to your taste. The next entry is related to the transparency of this shadow. Its default value is 255, which means the lowest transparency. You can change it according to your taste. The next entry is related to the color of the texts. The next entry is related to the color of the text button when the mouse pointer is placed on it. Let me show you at the bottom of the text panel. There is a live text. When the mouse is placed on it, its color changes and you can click on it. When you click on this button, a vertical line is drawn on the chart, and by moving it over the historical candles, you can read the information about those candles in history. And by clicking again on the text button, the line will be deleted and it will return to the live display mode. Well, let's go back to the settings. By changing this color, the corresponding color of that section will change. Let me show you quickly. The next entry is related to the transparency of texts. The next entry is to specify whether or not to display the candle body on the panel. And the next three entries are related to candle color for bullish, bearish, and doji candles. I have set the default value for all three modes to dark gray. The next input is to set the diameter of the candle displayed on the panel, which can be a number between 1 and 10. The next entry is to set the transparency of this candle. The next two entries correspond to the color of the bars, with default values of green and red for prices above the candle's opening price and below the opening price. The next entry is also related to the transparency of the bars. You may ask, what is the reason for the transparency of the internal elements in the panel? Well, let me show you. You may want to remove the panel so that it does not disturb your view. For this, you must set its transparency to 0. I also set the transparency of the shadow to 0 so that the panel is completely removed. Now all the internal elements of the panel are on the chart, and adjusting their transparency will be useful to you. I have provided you with all the settings needed to customize the panel so that you can customize it according to your taste. The next entry is the color of the vertical line that is the candlestick picker in history. The last entry is related to the refresh rate of the panel, with the default value of 10 fps. I use the CPU processing unit to render this image, and this number is also applicable for most computers with old processors. It runs and updates smoothly, but if you have a stronger processor, you can increase it to 60 fps. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.